Alrighty, welcome to Arcane Recovery. This is our after talk show for campaign casters. You'll notice that our mic quality is being a little finicky today. Please apologize for this first episode as we're having some... You get what I'm saying?
You apologize.
You guys are sorry.
It is absolutely your fault.
This is on you.
So
loud.
I apologize in advance for the sound of this, but for the most part, all we're really going to do here is really just talk back and forth about what we thought. We just recorded the first 2 episodes. So that was really, really cool. I'm going to go around the table. So basically, this is just super laid back. If you've never heard one of these talk shows before, it's just us talking about what were our expectations, what were the things that we wanted to get done, what happened, and what were some of our favorite things that did happen, and what did we not see coming. So I think the first question I think I'm going to ask to everyone is, what was one of your favorite moments in the 2 sessions we had today? Nick.
Okay, that's okay. 2 moments, because the thing is that is really unique for you and I is that we're both dungeon masters. So, being able to know some of the behind the scenes stuff and seeing you reveal things was really awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to say one of my favorite parts is that since with that dynamic of how we're going to go, back arc and arc together, you kind of throwing me in the deep end for that first, just going into Telona district was really awesome. Yeah. But I love that because it gives a brief insight into our little dynamic that we're going to try with 2 DMs and how our 2 different DM styles will kind of overlap and how that will work during this campaign.
Yeah, I agree completely. Heath?
Oh, wow.
Favorite moment?
Yeah. I really
only one.
Yeah, you only get one. That's all you get. That's your rations of the day.
If you need to think, we can also pop.
Yeah, we can pop around.
Well.
Jake just looked randomly and he's right.
I was just turning to. I was watching
He
the
looks
speaker.
longingly into my eyes.
Oh my gosh, they're kissing.
Oh God.
No, they do not want to hear those noises.
But I think my favorite moment was immediately losing my sword. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
I was
that felt like it set the tone for who we
I
are.
was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna rip the wheel off, cut all the spokes out, and then just and I was like, this is how it's going today.
Funny enough, I was going to try and do some Eldritch Blast towards the wheels and help out with you as well. But then once Percy fell off, I'm like, shit, gotta go get him.
Fair. Jake, what was your favorite?
So I got 2. First one's really quick. Getting the first nat 20 and first nat 1 on the same dice.
Absolutely.
was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But then my actual favorite moment is just wanting to find a carnival game and then just going into this random alley where there's just a suspicious guy come play my game, and I'm like, yeah, that checks out. Let's go do that. That was hilarious. That was hilarious for sure.
Yeah, no, I think especially during that scene, I was in my mind for a second, I was about to just be no, you cannot find carnival games, and I was like, Haven, it's improv. I am not about to just be I need to end this. So I was like, why not? And I thought it slowly was I was like, okay, he has a trench coat on, and I was like, there's gotta be something in the trench coat, right?
Yeah, dude, it's a stuffed animal.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That was funny.
It's just not stuffed animal.
Yeah, what was in his pants?
Oh, you'll have
That's
to
for
find
the
out. That'll be in a Q&A session way later on. Adam, what was one of your favorite moments?
One of my favorites. Oh, geez, actually, I have 3. I'll do them all really fast. One of my favorite moments was whenever Jake had the connection with Sayer.
Oh yeah,
that
heartstrings.
That made my heart so happy. I was like, oh, that is so cute. It was literally the sister thing too. I was like, oh my gosh, none of us know that except for Sig is the only one who really has heard
Yeah,
that.
can I just say, the second that a child showed up, I went, I'm gonna try and make this about my sister. I'm gonna try it because she's missing a brother and I'm the missing brother. I was like, this is it.
It's funny that you said that because I actually didn't even plan it story-wise, I was just like, yeah, this would be like a fun little...
Truly,
That's the beauty
my
of
character
D&D.
would have never entered that room with Sarah alone.
Yeah.
So I just pushed him in. I was
That's
like,
fair.
that's all you.
Mhm.
I when you said I'm gonna try and find a stuffed animal for me to say, I was like, fuck, shit, sorry.
No, you're
I was
fine.
I was like, fuck, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna give her something to be like, remind me of my sister. But then you shoved me in anyway, so I was like, okay.
I thought that was a really, really good character moment. I think that also, I think what it really did for a lot of it, especially that second episode, it allowed us to really start understanding Brian a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think because everyone like we were feeling things out, right? We had moments where we were like, okay, who are these characters and stuff? And there was this moment where like Riker pulls up like the remote saying like, hey, you kind of got to do this stuff. And it was like, there was tension. There's tension in the room. But now that I think we're all like aware that these characters have been together for a while, it really like connected fully in that moment for me, that people were like, oh, maybe it's not just against his will a little bit.
I still like have revealed pretty much nothing to. I mean, none of you guys know about my sister
Absolutely.
at all.
Yeah, I mean, none of them.
or any of my family. I mean, if you were eavesdropping, then I guess you know.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
eat
Yeah.
but
Then you know. But other than that,
Absolutely. Sophia, what was one? Sorry, you have two more.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. I also I was so proud of you for doing the improvised.
You gotta
room
say
and
he's
doing
you
the-
is.
Pointing towards Sophia.
Sophia. I was so proud of Sophia for doing the roots into the stone guy.
Yes.
Cracking the punch.
Yes,
So
against
cool.
Tolkien.
That was sick.
really
so
good.
sick. And I just adored all of us doing the intro, describing that whole cart intro scene. I thought that was so cool. That was so all of our characters.
I think it felt us.
Yes,
Mhm.
it was super us. And I think that's really that's the reason why we do this podcast, because we love each other, and us combining together to do that is really cool.
Yeah.
Sophia. Sorry,
Well,
I didn't mean to jump the gun.
You're okay.
Or the arm.
I really liked
the bow.
I really liked that we got to see a glimmer of Elxador's like
Mm-hmm.
backstory when he
Yeah.
almost died. And I like seeing that there's another Spriggan in the world because Haven's been so mysterious. Haven's been so mysterious about like there's like you don't know any other Spriggans like you, so it's cool to know there's a possibility that there might be another one.
That was another huge moment. Is whenever you said during the thing you said. You wake him back up, and he also sees another spring in front of him.
Yeah.
That was
The instant. That was actually the one I was super proud of. Like you say, you like have difficulty with improv, but you literally just did that.
Thank you.
And that's like it was so good.
Yeah, that was my other favorite moment because that hit me hard. I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting nice and heavy in this first episode of the campaign.
It was. I think that was kind of a blessing in disguise because it's not like literally in the first episode, like nobody knows who we are, nobody knows like what the characters are about and stuff. And I think that hopefully it allows audiences to connect.
Then even learning about the world as well. Like we say that we're flipping D&D on its head. We're introducing new races, new like world concepts, all that fun stuff. So like everything that is pieced together these two episodes and even like the pre-test episodes, there has been like a good healthy amount of world explanation that once as a viewer, I want to know more about that because like there's all these cool concepts being thrown in.
Absolutely, I agree. Ari?
So I knew someone was going to take the Sayer moment before I did, so I'll say a different one. No, Jake took it. Actually, you're fine, but I do want to, for a moment before I say mine, expand upon that because I'm just so proud of Jake because. For in case no one knows at home, which you wouldn't, Jake is the newest to playing this game out of everyone at our table, and I know he was, if you don't mind me saying, I know he was a little nervous about doing. Why would you say that? No. And within these first like 2 official episodes, to have something that was just so gorgeous and so touching and characterful to a point that was. As much as he would share. Like, what was the line? It was Big Brothers always come back eventually. I'm gonna keep thinking about that for a long time. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
I was
that was a really good line.
Yeah. So, but my moment for myself was when Gail got to speak a little bit of Gnomish to Riker. I wanted to find a good moment for that. And since we were filling downtime, I was like, this, especially with what Gail had sort of seen and discovered earlier, they wouldn't address that directly, but I thought it was a good in to show that.
Yeah.
And through that showing their love of language, that they're very good on picking up on that, showing just a beginning of something that they enjoy and tapping into that autistic special interest that you'll see come out, just starting to live in what that is in this character in this world. And so I love that I got to drop in there because it felt also very meaningful. Because cultural connection, we see that in the real world and how wonderful that is to feel like your culture's being honored.
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite, it's really hard because there are just so many good moments that did occur, but I think one of my favorite things that happened in general was, and I think it's slightly underrated, whenever you all go into the house to find Fennec and all that sort of stuff, and Alexador reads the note, the journal, and you're all immediately like, we need to get Sayer the hell out of here. I think in that moment, like they're like, yeah, we're not adventurers, we're investigators and stuff like that, and like we're trying to toe that line of like heroes and morally gray. But I think in that moment it was really cool to see everyone have a common goal, where it was Sayer is top priority, we don't want anything to happen to her. And it was like we had Brian running out to watch her. Lycan was already like near her, making sure, and did the whole backpack and seat thing with Leo, and like making sure like people were getting on Annika to start kind of bounding off away from this area. I think that was a moment where everyone was like, "This is the objective. This is what we have to do."
Yeah,
and I really like that.
It was so cool.
Yeah, just mainly because there's that classic D&D trope where you find out information, and then as you continue reading, you're going to get ambushed. So I was like, okay, we have useful information. We have a child here. Everyone else knows this. Let's go somewhere safe and learn the rest of this.
Absolutely. The next question, I think I'm just curious towards. What was everyone's feelings before this episode? Like, I'm just gonna go around the table and see, like, what was everyone actually feeling whenever we did this sort of stuff? What were the feelings that were going into it, and what did you get out of it at the end? Nick?
Oh, I'm gonna have to think on this one.
Okay, we can keep going across.
Yeah.
Heath, do you have it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's always stress and anxiety, especially when it's like, this is the one, like we're going. But I was oddly calm at the same time because like I knew what I was gonna do. I know in one of the like session zeros, I was like, I'm gonna do a fun accent. I'm not doing that, and I think it actually means a lot more because I can't use that as a crutch. To be like, oh, funny character. And I think like there's a big theme of vulnerability.
Absolutely.
At least with what I'm doing in my life currently. So I want to keep that thread going if I can.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jake.
I don't like thoughts before we started filming the first episode.
Yeah. If you had any, it's okay if you don't.
No, I mean, I think I was just mostly like trying to picture, because I read like the whole
the
lore.
Yeah.
The talk.
The overview.
Yeah. Like the beginning of the episode, like what everyone was doing at the very beginning. I read all of that, and so I was like trying to picture it in my head, and I was struggling to a little bit, but then when we like started saying all of it out loud and everyone was reading their own stuff and we got into it, it was like a picture clear as day.
Like you said, an anime intro.
Like I literally envisioned like a pencil sketching everything in, and then it all got filled with color, and then things started moving after that.
That's
and it was
awesome.
like, whoa. It was
It's like
Fair. Yeah. Relief. Yeah. Adam?
Honestly, just excitement through and through for like from starting any of these days, even like last weekend's like do episodes. It was just there's not many moments where you get to sit down with a bunch of your friends and play a game and do funny voices, have funny laugh moments, and like roll dice for like a silly little board game, and do it for like fun, but also for other people's entertainment. And it's genuinely just so exciting and so cool to build a story from the ground up that no one else could ever even match the exact same level of story or the exact same level of character development or the exact same level of connection that our group has.
Yeah.
So like when I like literally throughout like the entire like 2 weeks that I'm like not here, I'm excited to get back to it just because it is so much fun to just do something with a group of people you feel super comfortable with that will eventually get thrown out into the world, and hopefully that other people will also enjoy the connections that we all have together. And if they don't, that's fine. I'm still glad that I'm here playing this game with all of my closest friends, and I'm still glad that I'm just literally, it's a huge stress reliever for me just to do this with people, and it's just, it's one of the coolest things ever.
Ditto, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you. Sophia.
I was definitely nervous when I woke up this morning, but then I got here, and I think the fact that we did a test episode or two first helped me just settle in, and remembering that we've all played together before, we've all like this is meant to be fun, and I kind of was able just to sink in.
Yeah.
And I honestly was not nervous at all while actually playing. So
That's great. Yeah. That makes
yeah,
you happy.
yeah. As an anxious person, I was like, "Ooh, this is new."
It's funny how I play the most anxious character, yet I am not anxious at all. That's the reason I got good at it too. I was like,
Absolutely.
I wonder.
Yeah, that's actually really, really cool insight. I never like realized that. I guess that you don't have as much anxiety, and that's
I kind of did a swap.
No,
Yeah.
I definitely do have I have anxiety. Everyone has anxiety.
Yeah.
But like,
It's an
not
emotion.
as
About
crazy,
it
like,
is,
yeah. But like, I've went through so many things where I've figured out how I perceive things, how to think through certain like scenarios, and
Yeah.
like, it's interesting to play a character like Leo who has a huge amount of anxiety. And it makes me think back to when I was in middle school, because that's when the most amount of my anxiety really, really, really came out.
Yeah.
So like every experience of him like going into the casino, I'm like, okay, what would the old me who didn't talk to anyone,
I
had
don't know
like
how to manage this at all.
2 friends,
Yeah.
and barely knew how to any improv skills at all, would experience a huge amount of people. Like, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because it's just, in our brains, we have this societal thought of like, if we say the wrong things, if we do the wrong things, then the world's going to end. When that's not actually true. But to someone like Leo, who literally is 6 years old,
Yes.
who is still figuring out everything in the world, that is the scariest thing ever. Because he literally thinks that people will attack him and people will go against him, but he doesn't know that won't actually happen.
That was goddamn well said.
That was a lot of
Yeah.
thought on why I do
Yeah.
Leo's.
I absolutely love that. Ari?
Yeah, well, I didn't know if I was going to be nervous again. I felt like at the top of the day when I woke up, very similar to Sophia, I felt as anxious as I was before our test episodes, but that dissipated a lot faster. I'll admit I was also really anxious about if I had the personal stamina to do this today, because our recording days are long. And
Yes.
Fun fact, a few of us are in a show at our university, and I was up. I was in rehearsal singing until 10 p.m. last night, and I was like, I'm so tired. Can I do this?
Yeah.
But that's the fun thing about D&D and about TTRPGs is very much last semester with Fodenland. That was like at the end of the week, I could relax and escape and whatever. And I felt like I was able to live in that a little bit more, even though we were being recorded and there were these things.
Even from exhausted, it gives back to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is exactly it. And y'all are such giving players that I definitely felt rejuvenated, and we did the high energy stuff and we did the quieter things, and all of it I don't know. I felt like I could breathe, but I also could get hype about things.
Sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
think what is nice about our group is that you can take a step back seat and let other people just run it for a little
One.
bit.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to always be
Yeah, it's not always on.
right.
It's-
Exactly. I can just enjoy.
Yeah, I'm out.
Right.
What a great story.
I know.
Just like, you know what I mean?
I mean, like, I removed myself from the rest of the group for, like, the entire end portion of the first episode. And I did that because it was in character, but it also did give me a moment to, like, hang out, you know?
Cool. Yeah, like, I'm good. I don't have the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick didn't get to.
Yeah, Nick, would you like to go before I go?
No,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No,
I
you're
didn't
fine.
mean to skip
no,
over
it's fine.
you at all.
No, you're fine.
No,
My
you
brain
can,
was-
you can go.
Yeah. You can go. No, go. Say your words.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
No,
Nick?
you go, Aiden.
Okay. You're perfectly fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're all
I
good.
apologize.
No, you're perfectly
so much.
fine. I did what I wanted. I was talking about. Jeez, I can't talk. I was talking about this with Nick
Are you
today.
going to say what I was going to say? No.
I don't know.
We
but-
finish each other's sentences.
Yeah. No. This morning and yesterday and this whole week for me personally has been really, really stressful in terms of, for some reason, because this matters so much to me, my brain was like, you're not gonna do it. You can't, like I knew I could do it, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't like telling myself I was bad or anything. I'm perfectly confident in my ability.
Subconscious self-sabotage.
Subconscious self-sabotage. I was
yeah.
like literally, like, so typically, just so everyone knows my writing process for this sort of thing, like, I've never had to write for 2 sessions. And for those of you at home, I don't really write a lot. Like, I write a lot, but I don't write a lot for a lot of my sessions that I run in my other games. I write like 2 or 4 pages maximum, and then the rest is improv. Because that's how I like to operate and have more fun, especially in like things like my other game with Strixhaven and all this.
It gives you more freedom.
Yeah, it gives me more freedom. I'm not confined to one thing. I have a big plot, and then I like fill in the blanks. But for this, like, I do have a big plot, and I fill in the blanks. But I have to create, in my mind, I have to create something that I've always wanted to have the amount of effort in. And so with the past 2 weeks, typically what I do is I will write for the full 2 weeks. I'll do 2 pages every day. And that's what I do. I do 2 pages every single night, so that way I can relax for the rest of the night and just get it done. It takes me like an hour, maybe, if I'm taking forever, maybe not. But for this week specifically, it took me forever. I literally was writing this morning. I woke up at 8 and I wrote the gambling games and the casino. I wrote Elder Blast and how Elder Blast works. And then I wrote stuff you guys haven't gotten to yet. That because I was so goddamn scared. From my perspective, I was like, holy shit. Like, I had
What's happening?
Yeah, I was like,
you've been building for this for years.
yeah. I was like, it was this thing. I was like, it's finally happening, and I don't feel ready.
Yeah.
As a DM, I don't feel ready because I can't prepare in advance. I needed to know everyone's characters and how everyone operates for me to write correctly.
But even as someone who's DM'd very lightly, like I feel that even normally when I'm playing a game,
Yeah,
like that
me
feeling
too.
of like I don't even have everything ready. Like how do I?
Can we,
Yeah.
can we just talk about, like, for you guys, Nick and Haven,
Yeah.
this is years in the making.
Yeah.
For us, it is
Literal
months.
Literally, we
Like less than 3 months for us and like the rest of the cast.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
weird to
It's
think about that.
It is
Fucking
insane.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's y'all's baby. And I mean, I'm personally honored that you're trusting us to co-parent, in the words of
Yeah.
Sophia has
Yeah.
phrased things
That's a good
before.
idea. Fair.
Of course we would. Now, I can also like go align with that, like feeling that nervous because I was not aware that we were going to visit Kelowna today. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
I loved it. It was a great moment because, I mean, for me, I have like I'm still writing my arc for everything, and I'm making sure that I have like a lot of detailed descriptions. But like when that was just kind of thrown in, I was like, oh, okay, I need to, like, I know where the information is, and I just wanted to make sure that I could tell it right so that it did it justice whenever it came in, and it leaves that ominous feeling. Be like, oh, okay, here's different districts, and then your introduction of us going to Zillianak, I thought we were just going to be in S Creek this whole arc. So us visiting other ones, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't think everyone else knows this because it kind of has stayed between Nick and I.
Yeah.
Mainly the kind of impression Nick and I were under for a while, and I think we were just kind of boxing ourselves in to make sure things didn't get too out of proportion, was that we were going to each have our own districts that we made and we stayed in. And for some reason, to me, I was thinking about it, I was like, I cannot keep this in the exact same district or it's going to feel so small. And Nick and I have talked about wanting Conamanther to feel big. The fact that you guys are having to go from Zillianak to the Hook, Line, and Drinker all the way over to places like this Kilmuli Casino so that you can see that the city itself interworks all across the board.
The world is bigger than us.
Yeah.
And it felt like that to me as a player. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's so cool we get to see your style early. And
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
It makes me excited for your arc, and also hopefully the listeners excited for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it really, like, the way that we did the city is that I had this idea one day, because I was like, whenever you have a D&D, city that you're going to be in, you're like, okay, well, it's not a town, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on, but why is everything in the story happening in this specific part of the city? So the idea that I came up with is that you divide it into districts. And what it is that we just wanted Conamanther to be so big, very vast. That idea of districts is that whenever, here's a little pro DM tip in city building, if you want to like focus on stuff, have a district. And what this is that, say like you have a king and queen, right? They're at the very top of the food chain. And then below that, you have the people who are kind of like representing each district coming together so that they can give information to the king and queen and act as advisors of sorts. And then when you finally break down to like each individual district, you have that governor, governor, mayor, whatever you would like to call it.
Scaffold it lower.
And then you get to contain yourself in a district. And then you take that idea and throw in as many districts as you want to keep that campaign going, and have build that city of
however big. Literally a ginormous planet of cities. You know what I mean? Like districts.
Yeah, and it was just a really fun and easy way for us not to trip on each other's toes.
Absolutely. So that's why I immediately handed it off to Nick, was because as soon as I knew you were going over there, I was like, so Nick at the beginning said the entire thing about the cardinal courts and how there's 4 of those, and then he talked about these 5 different people, and I was like, I do not know this well enough. I was like, holy shit, I am not going to be able to DM this for you, which is why I threw you that curveball, because I was like, I would rather throw it to you who has something written for that, and it be better.
But it allows you to create a bigger world because you've got 2 brains on it.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's the best part about this.
It's such a testament to collaboration, because me and Haven and Nick, but me and Nick especially in the past week or so, have been in a lot of communication building the world of the House of the Solstice and Gael's world, because their religion and where they've grown up is so important to the entire way they exist in the world. And so building that location and the way that it operates was so important. So it was also very special for me to start to see a little bit of that with Nick. We know some things that won't be revealed for a while, but I'm very excited about.
Not yet.
Not for a minute. Little teaser. So you got to stick around for like a bunch of episodes, which you should do anyway because it's super cool.
Or else.
Absolutely. So I guess my next question.
Oh, okay. Just skip over me.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
I forgot.
No, you're all good. And I just wanted to finish that idea there, because Haven and I know a lot about this. Like, not even the thing is, we know a lot about Conamanther. outside of Conamanther, we also know a little, like a good, like we did a bunch of world building and lore and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But like Conamanther, we have so much built for this, and we're just prepared for all this. And like, it's really interesting lore when you get down to it. But I think like these 2 episodes were just enough to like really give that breath of fresh air to be like, okay, there's a lot I can explore in here and
It's
have a lot
funny
of
if like
fun.
we could touch like 15% of it, and you'll be like, "Yep, there's so much more."
Yeah,
I need to do that too.
literally.
Like
Literally.
like with the Department of Magic casting, like at first there was like some ideas that since some of you don't have your licenses, that we have like maybe like an episode where you guys go get your license at a DMV and stand in line and be like, I want to have this. Where's my test that I could take?
Yeah. I decided against that. But
Thank you.
yeah, oh,
Yeah, appreciate
absolutely,
it.
right?
Peace and love.
Yeah. So what was
Hate
what?
DMV.
Yeah.
Real. That was why we made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like that would be such a funny concept to be like, you need a license to cast magic in the
Yeah,
city, and
that
then
makes sense.
and then especially with like the lore that we're going with, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like it's a really fun way to mitigate people who just have access to wish if they study or kill goblins long enough. Where you might want to regulate that power level system.
Absolutely.
But what I found really interesting leading up to this podcast, or like these first couple of test sessions,
Yes.
and episodes itself, is being able to have a great time with you guys. But also the thing that we wanted to really show everyone here is that we are amongst fans. There are so many great creators out there that have a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, tabletop rolling, playing Call of Cthulhu, you name it. And so many great artists out there that are just really trying to make a legacy in this, what would you say, like field?
In the sea of things.
Yeah,
In this online space.
in this
In
space.
this,
Yeah.
in this world. In the world.
Yeah, in this role playing space, because
Yeah.
this is our way of escaping. And we are not famous. We are not rich. We are college students. Well, some of us.
College students and
Yes.
recent grads.
We are college adjacent.
Yes. Yeah.
We
But,
are,
like,
we are new
we are
adults.
broke,
New
actually.
adults.
Yeah, but yeah, we are new
Money,
adults.
please.
Exactly. We're new adults in this world, and we want to try and make something for ourselves, but also bring people with us, because we want to involve the fans of those amazing podcasts
Absolutely.
and creators and bring us all with us. Like what we want to offer that we can get into depending on like what we say with our the outro. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
The outro or just any other information we want to have is that we want to involve fans with us, where you guys get to give us feedback or give us dungeons that get to create. You also get to like voice over NPCs
Absolutely.
that you want to like submit. Like we want to involve you guys, and it's really fun being able to take that big swing, quote by Freddie Wong,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Daddies, and Rocket Jump.
Rocket Jump
Yeah.
so good.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think that was one of the main things that really inspired us was Rocket Jump's idea of trying to be like, hey, here's especially in things like in the movie industry, a lot of it tends to be gatekept. A lot of it does. That's just how it is. So I think Rocket Jump was the first group that tried to break away from that.
And we don't have fancy equipment. We're trying to figure this out along
This
with you guys.
episode,
Yeah.
Listen back to episode 2 and
This
tell us how it sounds.
Episode 2 is brought to you by Heath's busted ass soundboard.
I was not busted ass for the first episode.
Sometimes just decided to die. It was just like, you know
But it's
what?
okay, because we got an amazing team of people, ones that you hear from here and ones that you do not, that we're working together to make it happen and to overcome things that are not perfect, because we can't expect to be perfect starting off the gate. Like we said, we are new adults in the world. We don't have fame or money, but we have a lot of heart and we have a lot of community. And I think that's worth, especially right here, right now, just as much.
Yeah, and we just want to build people, take people.
We
And,
want to build people.
yeah, we want to build people. No, we want to. We want to. Yeah, we want to take people and build everyone else up together.
Yeah, because like the thing we said at the beginning, that this is your home away from home.
I know.
Exactly.
It's
And then-
ours too.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
it's ours first and now yours too.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of my
We're
home.
all here.
This is Heath's
We're
home.
also
I'm
literally-
actually. Now, I know you might have a question, him, but I was wondering if I could ask a question.
I suppose. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now that we've for a couple of months we've been telling you about the Runecaster and what that has been. So now this is kind of directed towards Sophie as well. How does everyone feel about the introduction of the Runecaster now that you did a spectacular job of showing how this class works?
Thank you.
Yeah, like
It was
it is so like Runecaster is the concept of making your own spells and being able to use your imagination as best you can to do possibly whatever you want.
Yeah.
So going back to you, how did you feel about that?
Oh,
I was definitely intimidated because it's you're in Haven's baby, and so I was very nervous to take it on. Like I think we all suggested like 3 character concepts, and I was like, I mean, this could be a sorcerer, could be a runecaster, could be this.
Yes.
I mean, if you really need that, I'll do the runecaster, but oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. And then it worked out that it made sense for me to be the runecaster, so I don't know, it's been really fun. I've had more fun with it than I thought I would. I'm a very rules, I like to know everything ahead of time person, so the idea of I can just improvise it scares me. But it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I should explain the class or if it would.
I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, you can.
We want to hear your experience with it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's weird because they're not spells. The basic idea is that you carve. I am an incantemic runecaster, which means that the runecaster carves into themselves to cast their magic.
And you're a tree, so it's really
Yes, it's there's literal bark.
So cool.
Yeah, it's less gruesome than
Yes.
than some or other things that
Could be. Yeah. And so that's just different ways of tracking the spell, not spells, the runes.
Yeah.
I have to get that on my head. Yeah. I'm really enjoying it though. I love the spontaneous nature of it. I like being able to make situational spells. That's just that. It's a need I didn't realize I had within D&D, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
And the thing is that it's an entirely new system. Of course, I mean, you could actually probably throw it in any other system if you really so chose, because it's not, it's not spell casting. And that's the thing that, I mean, Haven and I are not professional game developers. So
No, I think that what's awesome is that you guys have been so open about my feedback and of what's working, what's not. So we're continuing to workshop.
Yeah, we are
as we go.
It is consistent workshop.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not meant to be done.
But it was funny.
Yes.
I went back to playing a cleric for a different campaign, and I was like, oh, I'm so limited by these spells.
all right, this is gonna sell.
Yeah,
All right.
real.
I can only do specific things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
What did everyone else viewing it as?
It's cool to see just it's literally putting puzzle pieces together. It's those old those letter magnets that you can put on fridges.
Yep.
It's like those, but you're okay, I need to have a way I want to cast it, specific level. I want to have a specific
And
element for
there's limitations to it. It's not just you can't be I want to cast fireball and make it pink.
Barbie pink fireball.
Yeah. There's limitations. There's guidelines on what kinds of things I can do.
Yeah, and you're using specific words. I think the 2 of the ones you used that were improvised were the going through the stone crack
Upheaval.
one, the upheaval one, and the was it the healing one that was also improvised?
Yeah, I don't have a name for that one.
I think that one you mixed vitality, and then you also did, I believe, earth.
Earth for that one.
Earth, yeah, and for the other one, and just using those words and putting them together and being okay, that can work.
Yeah. That actually brings up another good point. What do you guys think about the new like damage types and elements that we're gonna
Oh,
that we submitted that?
those are just amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I always feel like it's so limiting when it comes to having like 4 or 5 damage types. Like, obviously it makes sense when you build a game that like, hey, this guy's gonna hit really hard, so it's gonna bludgeon you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy's gonna stab you, so it's gonna be piercing. But it's like, what's a good example?
The earth damage or the
Like
Shadow.
Vitality.
Yeah.
shadow, vitality.
What's another new one? Like, let me look up.
ether.
Ether. Yes, that's space.
Just getting, because like sometimes you look at a spell and you're like,
Why does
should that be necrotic damage? Does that make sense to be necrotic?
Yeah.
Like, or does this make sense that it should be like fire? But
It's too broad.
Or like life
it's
force.
too bright. Yeah. Like, okay,
There's difference
that
between
makes
those things.
like
like
radiant being like life all
Yeah.
the time. Just is like, okay, that's a choice.
absolutely like like I don't know if everyone knows this. Cure Wounds is an evocation spell.
That's
It's wild.
Are you aware of that? It's not a divine. It's not divination because divination isn't healing people. It's seeing things.
Yeah.
So in D&D, originally they don't have anything that's like separately only healing spells.
Yeah, like
All
vitality
healing
stuff.
spells are evocation, which makes no
It's
sense
weird.
to me.
Yeah.
huh. Yeah.
No, but I just love it.
Runecaster, you can make that make sense. Boom.
No, and I mean, when I found out that Sophia was going to be our runecaster, I was like, that makes so much sense because if anyone can hold that much in their brain, it is Sophia. I think it is the combination of if you're being able to improv and how incredibly smart you are that makes you able to use a system like this and do it so well. Like you were already creating things that I don't think I would have thought of that because it's maybe just not the way my brain operates. It's so thrilling to me, and I knew you could do it, and I'm glad you're seeing that you can do it too.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. So we're getting close to the end. So the way I want to end this is I'm going to ask everyone to go around, and I'm going to ask you to try your best to fit into one word. What is the thing you are looking forward to next?
Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
Got it. I got it.
Okay,
Adam, go first if you have it.
Us.
Adam, you're gonna make me cry.
Damn you! That's really good.
That's just
That's really good.
no
That's
matter what,
very
it
good.
boils down to us as a team working together to do this, and like us also in the fact of the people who are listening to this. All of us together are in this as a team,
Agree.
a family. You can say.
Family.
Secrets. That's my word. Secrets. I want to know everybody's things. I'm a little fiend for backstory.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I think because I've enjoyed it so much so far. Vulnerability and the many forms that takes. I know that's more words. that was a word.
Yeah, I know.
It was a word and then an explanation. Okay, but vulnerability.
Exactly.
I think the one word I have is let's see, what the hell is the one word I have?
Oh, you couldn't answer your own question,
Oh, I didn't think about it.
I can go.
Yeah.
My one word is eustress. Like EU. Like
Me stressing?
so
Eustress,
with
yeah.
stress, there's distress and eustress. And eustress is stress that propels you forward to be better.
Yeah.
Which I learned in my class that I'm taking with Jay. You're not going to be able to think of a better word.
Did we mention we are college students?
Jay, do you have one?
Freedom, both for the character and for me
You
as
know,
a
that was
player.
going to be my word too. That was my first word I thought of. And then I was like,
You let Jake have it instead.
I don't know.
Thanks for the freedom of choice.
Number 2, DM.
Do you have one?
Yeah. Lore. There's so much lore that's been built up. Like,
Yes.
can't wait to give it to you guys.
I think I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna say villains.
You damn right. We have some badass villains coming up.
And with that, we are going to end Arcane Recovery for today. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a review if you can, because that's the best way to support us. We would really appreciate it. And if not, perfectly fine. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember,
Excelsior.
Remember?
I could do this. Okay. Until next time, be careful adventuring. If you get tired, come back home.
Aw.
If the big villain is lumberjack, I'm gonna.